Okay, so now that we already know how to find R, which is the level swap rate, we want to find other relevant measures related to swap. Okay, so when we set our fixed rate R at the beginning of the swap contract, the value of that swap contract is 0. What do I mean by that? The value of the swap contract is 0 because the present value of the payments that we expect from the swap is equals to the present value of the receipts from that swap. Okay, so what we will get is equals to what we will pay. It's based on the assumption that we use lah when we want to set the R. However, as we move along the swap tenure, the value of the swap changes. Okay, so maybe in the beginning we agree for 3-year swap. So after 1 year, the value of the swap is not 0 anymore because the actual variable interest rate will differ from the expectation of the variable interest rate. So the actual and expected of the variable interest rate differs. So the net swap payments that we will expect will differ as well. So since the payment will already not equal to the receipts, so the value can either be more than 0 or less than 0, dependent. So if you expect more receipt than payment, then the value is positive. If you expect more payment and less receipt, the value of this swap is negative. The value will be relevant if you were to trade your swap. Like, okay, I don't need that swap anymore. I have 1 year remaining. I don't need that swap anymore. I want to sell. So how much will I need to sell? So that's why you will assess the value of that swap. Just recap on the term for net swap payment. As we said, between two party, their net swap payment will have the same amount but different sign, right? Because for the swap, one party will pay A and the other party will pay B. So net swap payment for party A, the net swap payment for the first party A, will be A minus B. But the net swap payment for party B, so net swap payment will be B minus A. Okay, so the amount is the same but the sign is different. The one that is positive means they are paying. The one that is negative means they are receiving money. So the one that we said just now is net swap payment paid. So positive means you're paying, negative means you're receiving. But sometimes in the books they also say net swap payment received. Okay, so you have to switch your mind a bit. Net swap payment received means if you receive, it's positive. Opposite from this one. Here receive is negative, but here receive is positive. So what you pay is actually negative. It's just a matter of term, and you just need to switch the sign accordingly. Don't get confused with the sign. Okay. So when you are valuing the swap contract, okay, you are valuing the value of a swap contract. Usually when you value something, you want to value the amount that you will receive or the amount that you will pay. So usually when you value something, you want to value the amount that you will receive. So you will find present value of all net swap payment that you expect to receive, not the one that you expect to pay. Okay, so when you are valuing, make sure you are finding the present value of all net swap payment that you will receive. So just be careful with the positive and negative signs. Okay, let's see an example. This is the term of a zero coupon bond and the price of a zero coupon bond. Okay, Hannah enters into a 4-year interest rate swap. She wants to swap the variable rate with a fixed interest rate. The level notional amount of the swap is 50,000 every year. So Q is level. So we can use a simpler formula to calculate R. Okay, 3 years have elapsed and 1 year is left. Okay, 1 year is left. And on the swap agreement, calculate the market value of the swap if Hannah decide to sell this swap contract. Assuming the notional value is 50,000 and the 1 year spot rate as at the time that she wants to sell, the 1 year spot rate is 4.9%. Before this, they estimated this variable rate by calculating this, right, the forward rate, when they was first setting the R. But at the time, once after 3 years have elapsed, they already know the actual variable rate, and the actual variable rate is 4.9%. So now we want to find the market value of this swap, because she wants to sell this swap at time 3. At time 3, she wants to sell this swap. So what is the value, market value at time 3? So first, we need to determine the R first. R was not given, so we need to determine the R by using the simpler formula, 1 minus P Tn over the sum of all P Ti. Okay, so it will be 1 minus this one divide by this plus this plus this plus this. So you will get your R. Okay, and then once you find the R, to find the market value 3, you need to find the present value of net swap payment received. Okay. Okay, so you need to determine the net swap payment first. So what is the amount paid? So this person will pay fixed rate, this one that we just determined, but will receive a variable rate. So this is the amount that he will receive. So net swap payment paid is basically just the 2367.7 minus 2450. So you will get negative amount, 82.31. So negative means he will receive an amount. So net swap payment received is positive amount, 82.31. So the value of the swap is going to be the present value of the net swap payment received. So it will be 82.31. You find the present value. So this present value V is going to be based on the latest spot rate that we know, 4.9%. So the value is 78.47. So if you want to sell that swap payment at time 3, this is going to be the fair price. Okay. Before this, we find net swap payment, NSP. But now this one is net interest payment. So not just this example, this company is paying its liability with a fixed, but he's paying a floating rate to the swap bank. For company B, he's paying a loan on a floating rate, but he will pay a net swap payment to the swap bank. Okay, so the actual cash flow is payment of interest, actual payment of interest plus the net swap payment to the swap bank. So the combination of these two is the net interest payment. So net interest payment is the loan interest payment only, not the whole thing. Loan interest payment plus the net swap payment paid. So the net interest payment is going to be, for this person, he will pay the loan on a variable rate, right? But the swap is on fixed rate. So the interest payment is 50k times the variable rate, and then plus the net swap payment, and his net swap payment is a negative, so minus 82.31. So this is his total net interest payment. Okay, that's all for this chapter.